Hey everybody, welcome to another episode of Cooking with Koumy. This is our second Halloween video we're doing, and we're running out of time. Halloween's this weekend, well, beginning of the week, of next week. And we're going to go and do one last thing for the Halloween episodes, and we are going to make a mummy meatloaf with some spooky loaded potatoes, but our potatoes are only going to be half loaded, because I have a child who does not like sour cream, and the sour cream is supposed to go over the top of the whole thing. I'll show you what I'm talking about when I get to it. Alright, for what we're going to need for this meal, we're going to need some, hamburger. You'll need a pound of hamburger, a pound of sausage. I got the large onion this time because the onion is going to be used to make a few different things. A half a sleeve of crackers. Going to be 2 eggs. And some bacon. Now that's what you're going to need for your mummy meatloaf. Now for the potatoes. Again, you're going to need a little bit of bacon. You're going to need mashed potatoes. We're using instant mashed potatoes because of lack of time. Then you're going to need cheese. And it's not an ingredient, but you're going to need a Ziploc bag. And of course you got to have a spider on there. But like I was saying, with the potatoes, what we're calling spooky loaded mashed potatoes, you're basically going to be making loaded mashed potatoes in your oven, and then we're going to be designing it with a spider web on top with our friendly neighborhood spider down there. And you're supposed to use the sour cream to make the web. But like I said, I got a daughter who does not like sour cream. So what we're going to do is we're going to pull off some mashed potatoes off to the side and use the mashed potatoes to make the web for it. Okay, so what we're going to do first is we're going to get our mashed potatoes started. That way we have that ready, and then we can cook everything fairly close to the same time. So we'll start with these mashed potatoes. And now we have mashed potatoes. Okay, so what we're going to do is we are going to get started on our mummy meatloaf. And I know you guys have seen me make the meatloaf before, but I'm going to go through the steps one more time. Just add in your hamburger. And your sausage. And then we're going to take the onion, get that in there, set that off to the side. Go ahead and take your onion, cut it just about in half. And set half of that off to the side. Okay, we're not going to use quite half of this large onion, so I'm just going to take about a quarter of that. And we're just going to chop this up. Okay, once you got it chopped up, let's go ahead and add that in there. Then you're going to take your half a sleeve of crackers, if it will open. Crush those. And then we do, okay, then you're going to need 2 of your eggs. And just like last time, we're just going to mix all this together. And once you have it mixed together, that's pretty much done for the time being. I'm going to get my gloves changed and wash my other hand, and I'll show you how to make the face. Okay, so what we're going to do is take your meat mixture, get it down in the pan, and we're just going to form this into a head. Now, you're going to need a spot for the eyes. And then your spot for the mouth. Now, for your eyes, what you're going to do is you're going to take that other big half of that onion, and you need the center out of this onion, or fairly close to the center. So we're just going to cut away. And what you want is a fairly decent sized chunk of the onion, because this is going to be one of the eyeballs. I'm just going to take that and set it down right there. Then you're going to get a second piece just about the same size and do the same thing with it. Those are going to make up your eyes for your mummy. Now, with the other little piece of onion that you had, we're just going to cut off about half of that, and you are going to make some teeth for your mummy. And by doing that, we're just going to make little rectangles. You need anywhere between 6 and 8 of them. And we're going to set these right there in the mouth. Alright, well that makes up your mummy's face. Now we got to give him some bandages. Don't forget, make sure your oven is preheated to 350 degrees. Okay, now for your bandages for your mummy, basically, I need that again. Just going to take your bacon, preferably one piece at a time. Now, your bacon's going to be a little long, so it's not too big of a deal. But if you find that it's just way too long, you can go ahead and cut it down. But you start draping it over the mummy. Just to give it a mummy-like appearance. soon as your oven's preheated, we can go ahead and throw this in. This is going to cook for just about an hour. And then we're going to go ahead and get started on the spooky mashed potatoes. Okay, to start off with our loaded mashed potatoes, what we're going to do is grab a couple pieces of bacon. Now it wants to come off one at a time. And we are going to cook these until they're very crispy. Now, as that's cooking, it shouldn't take too long for that to cook all the way. The reason we want that crispy is because we're going to be crumbling that up on top of our loaded mashed potatoes, and then as soon as that's done, we'll get right back to it. Okay, now that the oven's preheated, we'll go ahead and throw this in. Like I said, this is going to cook for about an hour, and then at about the half-hour mark, we'll get the potatoes done and we'll throw those in. Alright, as soon as your bacon's done, what you're going to do is you're going to set that off to the side. We went ahead and went with 3 pieces of bacon just to make sure we had enough to cover everything. But as soon as your bacon's done, set it off to the side on a plate with a paper towel on it just to absorb the grease. Okay, now what we're going to do, I got a separate bowl. We're going to take some of these mashed potatoes, just set them off to the side, and then the rest of them is going in a casserole pan. And we're just going to smooth these out inside the pan. And once that is done, this is where it gets real fun. We're going to go ahead and take our cheese, and we're just going to coat the entire top of this thing. Now, I was using Koumy Jack, and I want it to be a little bit more yellow, so I'm going to put some more cheddar on there. But I wasn't sure I was going to have enough cheese for just the cheddar. Okay, once you have the cheese on there, what we're going to do is we're going to take this bacon that we cooked up. As it cools, it got a lot crispier. We're just going to break up the bacon onto the top of the mashed potatoes, and on top of the cheese. Alright, the meatloaf's been in for about a half hour, so we're going to take our casserole, mashed potato casserole, and we'll stick that in there. This takes anywhere between 20 to 30 minutes to cook. You're just basically cooking it until the cheese is melted. As soon as the cheese is melted, you can pull it back out. So here in about 20 minutes, we'll get back with you and we'll show you what else you got to do to finish this off. Okay, it's been about 15-ish. Our cheese is melted, so we'll go ahead and pull this out. Set this right down here on the side. Alright, so now what I've done is that those mashed potatoes that we set off to the side, I've put them into a Ziploc bag, and I cut the one corner off. This is going to give us something to draw with, more or less. And we're going to use this, and we're going to make a spiderweb design inside the mashed potatoes. we'll just connect everything up. Now this will be a little bit easier with the sour cream. But that's about as good as we're going to get it at this point. The sour cream would be a lot easier because it's going to be easier to squeeze out of the tube. You can put it through a smaller hole. With this, because we're using more mashed potatoes, I need a bigger hole. That way I don't blow the side of the bag out. So now we're just going to wait for the meatloaf to be done, which we've got about another 20 minutes on that. As soon as that's done, we'll get it pulled out and we will get it displayed for you. Alright. Our stuff has been in for 1 hour, or our meatloaf has. So we're going to grab this. Second pot holder on this one. Pull this out. Just set it right over there. And there we have it. We have our mummy meatloaf. And then our spooky loaded mashed potatoes. Now, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I enjoyed making it as usual. I have my recipe down in the description below, along with my links to my Facebook and my Twitter account. Again, I need help getting this channel to grow. So if you guys watch this video and you enjoy it, like it, share it on your Facebook, share it on your Twitter. Do whatever you can. Help me get some more followers. As soon as I get more subscribers, I can start doing a lot better things. Till next time, we'll see you in the kitchen.